Alright, this is for you, Mr. Neely, and only you. We're gonna make a small walkthrough explaining how to get the most out of the game in the early stages. I know that you're wanting to play a magic-oriented character, and we're gonna let you do that, but from what I was looking at earlier, this game, regardless, what options you have as far as spells and stuff go, it is a physical kind of game where physical combat is going to always take precedence over just a soul magic user. Late in the game, and when you're a little more skilled, you're going to be able to do that a little more, I think. But at this stage, you really need, especially in the early game, you really need to have some physical options, particularly when you're new and you don't really know what the fuck you're doing. So, you, I think, have been playing as a sorcerer, like this. I've recommended this at one point, and maybe even this. But what we're actually going to do to get you the most bang for your buck, and it's going to be a very radical change, is we're going to play as a deprived. So we're going to do that. Your gift, pretty much always, unless you've got a specific plan in mind, your gift always needs to be the master key, especially for what we're going to do here. Because there's going to be some suicide running. We're going to go very slim just because, I don't know, I like the aesthetic of a very thin, dead, naked woman. Is that weird? Anyways, so let's, very short because I know what you like. Black, why not? And the thing that this does here, and you'll notice immediately, is it starts you at level 6 and it starts all of your stats at 11. Now, your starting equipment is absolute shit. The last time I played, I challenged myself, and I did away with the shield, but I played with the club up until like level 40, and then I finally had to move on. But your equipment is terrible, but that's not going to matter for very long. I do enjoy the fact that on a man, he's just wearing a straight out thong, whereas the woman's a little more conservative. Good on you, Dark Souls. Yeah. Okay. That's enough of that. We're going to skip that cinematic, and let's get the mouse out of here. Skip this cinematic too. Now, if you're familiar with all this, you've seen this, we're going to, not much to say here really. We're going to go through this as much as possible, or as quickly as possible. The important thing here is that we know we don't waste any souls. We're going to want to get out of here with as many souls as possible in order to make the build as quickly as possible, because the weapons that I'm wanting to get for you as we go are not, you're not immediately able to use them. The equipment that I'm wanting to get with the stats that you start with this character, because you've got enough points in anything that you can be anything that you want, but not enough points to really be effective in any one thing until you've consciously made the decision to do so. And you've invested in it. I don't think we're going to need that bonfire, but just in case. This is a very just in case kind of game. So let's go ahead and equip the shield. Oh man. I wanted to kill it there, but it wasn't in the cards. We are immensely flat-chested as a dead woman. I can't help but notice. Arrow to the face. Like I said, I mean, with any of the other starting weapons, I don't think it takes 2 strikes one-handed to take down one of those guys, but It does here. So this game was not well optimized on the PC at all. Doesn't seem to matter what I do, I can't get it. Oh, I shouldn't have talked to this guy, but he explained some of the plot to you. You've got to talk, you've got to interact with him in a way. You want to go ahead and kill him just for the sake of speeding things along. The shield, unlike maybe some of the shields that you've played with so far, it doesn't have a 100% physical damage reduction. So that's going to be one of the first things we fix. We're going to trade this shield out fairly quickly. Because as a new player, it's very important that you play with a shield with 100% physical damage reduction. Just because you're not familiar enough with the enemy patterns to dodge them. And even, you know, I've been playing this game, I bought it on launch day. And even now, I'm not super familiar with damage patterns. Now on the Asylum Demon here, you can drop, and when you drop, hit your right shoulder button. We're actually going to... This fight's really easy once you realize that if you stay behind one of its legs, right here in the ass crack of the beast, he'll actually move you along with him until he flies up like this. And then you just back off and get back in as quickly as possible. He does that drop attack when it's kind of like a desperation mode thing. He'll do it here and there before you get into low health. But once you're low health, you'll start doing this little flying bob up and down and whatever. I've actually beat this guy without getting my weapon set first, and he drops a hammer that you will not be able to use until late in the game, so it doesn't really matter. So we dropped him. We're going to get 2,000 souls out of that, 1 humanity. Humanity is going to be not a huge deal in what I'm going to show you here, but it can definitely help. Good job. Go straight ahead. Thank you, From Software. Then right here, later on in the game, I just want to show you this. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But right here, if you drop certain items in this bird's nest and then turn your game off and turn it back on, there will be a better item sitting there waiting for you. So it's a quick way to get some upgrade materials for the weapon that I'm hoping to receive for you without much trouble. So skip this cinematic too. Going to go ahead and level up. Now what we want to level up here particularly is intelligence, and let's give you a little bit of strength. So we'll do that. Right now I know that you're sitting there and you're like, but I want to play as a sorcerer, I don't need 12 strength. Well, yes you do. You don't want to be totally fucked. So we just picked up 3 humanity there. That's a pretty good start. I don't know that at launch that's how many humanity were sitting there, but it's fine. It's cool. You know, I can play any other game in the whole universe without any kind of frame rate issues or anything, but this one just... And like, I downloaded the fix and it made it a little better, but... So anyways, you're going to come up the stairs and you're going to roll down here. There is a veritable treasure trove back here. That's actually what it's called. A lot of places that I look at. So there's a talisman there, help you do some miracles and stuff and some sorcery. I can't really remember. I know I always get them confused, because I don't play with magic a whole lot. And there's some homeward bones. here's Lloyd's Talisman, a PvP item, not something that... Well, it's not that strictly a PvP item, but what it does is it keeps everything within vicinity of you from using their Estus flasks to recover. So, and now we're going to run around and we're going to get some souls that just happen to be hanging around here. I'm going to run straight up this little cliffy. Something else I wanted to grab real fast. But let's go to the bonfire so we reset these enemies. Hope it resets them. Oh man, they're already too close. I'm gonna have to actually kill this guy. Sup, playa? There was some input lag there, though I don't know what that was about, but whatevs. Bonfire. We don't quite have enough souls there to level up, but we're going to go ahead and use those souls items. I'm sure you're already aware of what these do. You don't ever want to use them until you're actually ready to spend the souls. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the point of having these portable souls that you don't lose. But we're going to go ahead and level up again. I think this time we're just going to be able to afford one level up, and we're going to put that into faith again. And now, usually you head up into Undeadburg. That's the conventional wisdom on what you do. At this stage in the game, you don't want to go down into the catacombs quite yet, or into New Londo, so you head down this way. This character here can increase your Estus flask. She can't talk. I'm sure you've spoken to her before, but she can reinforce your Estus flask later on. So head on down to New Londo. I don't know whether or not you've been down here yet. Some people, I know I accidentally found this far before I ever found my Undeadburg. I spent a lot of frustrating hours down here trying to fight the ghosts. And you're not supposed to fight the ghosts yet. So right here, another soul. Those are very important for what we're doing here. If you really wanted to, you could run around here and farm some of these guys. I think they only drop like 20-some souls. Now this guy, he can reinforce your weapons later on. When you have the materials. We don't have any materials right now, but more importantly for you is he has a Sorcerer's Catalyst, an item that allows you to use magic, your wand, whatever, and the Heavy Soul Arrow and Soul Arrow. So you can buy those from him with this character because you're not going to come pre-equipped with them. So for 4,000 souls and 2,000 souls respectively, you can get those. And once you've got your attunement raised, you start out with one slot with this build. Once you've got your attunement, I think it only takes 1 point to get 2 slots. And early on in the game, that's all you're really going to need, as far as I'm concerned. So here we are in the Valley of the Drakes. We don't want to do too much exploring here. Let's grab this soul right here. There's one right at the door, easy to miss. We're going to go ahead and grab it. You don't want to do too much exploring here because you are not strong enough. I'm probably going to die right here. Probably, honestly. I hope not, but it's a strong possibility that what we're going to do here is die, and I just hope that I grab the items and get out Just grab the items before that happens. You can't be shy. You just gotta come right in here. This dragon, who looks dead and sleeping and harmless, is actually gonna wake up here and jump up and kill the shit out of us. Yep. There's one more soul over there. We're gonna have to come back and get it because I didn't get out of there fast enough. I didn't position myself correctly to do so. So, run down there. I don't know that we have to have it, but I want to have it. For you. I want you to know to get it, and I want you to see how it's done, or how I... And if you do die down here, you do need to pull this lever to get the elevator to come back up. Lots of these things throughout the game. Little alcoves and shortcuts. In the, once you're more advanced players of Dark Souls do a lot of sequence breaking, kind of like what we're doing right here. Where they go to areas where maybe they're not supposed to quite yet to get items to help them out. The game's designed that way, with that kind of play in mind. So, let's run up these stairs. Almost ran right off that fucking cliff. I would have just fucking quit. You could have figured it out on your own. It's easy to do. It's easy to forget how momentum works in this game, and then there you are. Now notice I spent all of my souls that I could before I came down here. We may not be able to get this soul because he is awake. I've never actually died there while trying to do this. Aha! You got it. That's all I needed. That 524 souls is going to be relatively unimportant here, I think. So, let's pop the soul of a nameless soldier. And the soul of a proud knight. And this large soul of a nameless soldier, I think. That puts us to about 3,000 souls. Level up. 2 more levels to get up to Faith 14. Now, and we'll go ahead and put another level into attunement right now. So that gets your second attunement slot. And we'll do a point in intelligence to get you 13 intelligence. So now, already, you're about where you would have been as starting out. Actually, a little better off as a cleric or sorcerer or any of the other magic-focused classes. So the reason that we did all of that and that we wanted to level up those specific stats and go down there is we wanted to use this sword, a storage straight sword. Let's go ahead and show the stats here. You're actually going to get, instead of just doing a physical attack like most starting weapons do, it actually has a physical and a magical property, which makes it one of the better weapons in the game up until mid-game. A lot of people are going to suggest a weapon called the Drake Sword, which maybe I'll show you how to do it depending on how we go. I was actually just texting you just now. And you're asking me how do you unhollow? Well, I'll show you. In just a second, actually. But you see there your physical and your magic attack. You've got all of the requirements that you need to use this weapon and a little more, so we're going to go ahead and equip that. We're going to unequip this plank shield and equip the Dragon Crest shield, which blocks 100% physical and magic and fire. The fire is particularly important, especially in the early game where it seems like every one of these motherfuckers throw fire bombs. So, now that we have this, I think you're going to see just how much stronger we are already. Already all of these enemies here can be one-shotted with this sword. With this sword one-handed, so it allows you to use a shield to block. Oh, that motherfucker just used an Estus flask. See? It's not just for PvP. Come on, get over here, bitch. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up. Now really I'm not going to do much more leveling up in this video, I don't think. But if you noticed there, when he threw me that firebomb, it barely did any damage at all because of the properties of this shield. So, if you wanted to run past the Drake here in a little bit, you could do that without much problem. Down there's a ring of sacrifice. If you really wanted it, it allows you to... I'll show you how to get it right real quick anyways. It allows you to go into an area and die and not lose any of your souls or humanity. So, you take a run here, a roll, and you land safely there. Be very careful walking along this ledge, because it's a stupid way to die, and it would be all of your fault, and that's the worst way to do anything in this game. It's the most frustrating this game gets, is when you die in a completely stupid way, and you know it was your fault. You know it's not the game, you can't blame the game, so the only person to blame is you. And that, it hurts. It hurts deep down. So, here's a rat. Rats tend to drop a lot of humanity. I don't know if it's the game commenting on some deeper layers, but rats drop humanity. And if you need to farm humanity early in the game, that's where to go. I'll actually maybe show you a spot, like I said, depending on how the Taurus Demon fight goes. So up here, as a new player, you're going to want to hold your shield up almost all the time. Just as a rule. See, this guy's going to throw a firebomb at me. It did a lot more damage than I expected it to, because it actually got up behind the shield. Pop an Estus flask real fast. Walk through the white light. Over here, I believe, is another soul. Up the steps, let this dragon do its thing. It's going to stagger you. Then he flies up and perches over there. I'm sure if you... I don't know if you've beat Taurus Demon yet, but if you have, you've encountered that fucking dragon. Now, I'm a little nervous because it's actually been a little while since I've had to fight Taurus Demon. Usually when I play, you know, I may skip him. But it's been a while since I've actually played this far into a new character. So, like 6 months. So, we'll see. I'm hoping to just beat him on the first try, and if that's the case, then I can show you a few other things. Well, I'll show you how to beat Taurus Demon either way. Here, and here, I believe this is a wooden shield. We don't really need it, but I just wanted to show it to you. Just in case someday you might want it for some reason. This guy, you do have to do your heavy attack. Your light attack, you're able to get with this build, with the armor that we're currently wearing especially, which is next to nothing, you're able to get several slashes in without, you know, running out of endurance. You've got a lot of room there, and then even with your heavy strikes, you're able to get a couple of heavy strikes in. 3, actually, so Like I said, you've got quite a bit in the way of offensive options here in the early game with this sword and shield. So we're going to run. I typically run and roll to the center of the room here. That way I can kill those two before the third comes in with the shield, and he actually can be very difficult for the player. That combination in that setting. I just now realized that I need to go back and activate that bonfire, I think. There's a black firebomb. That's going to come in handy. I usually don't use it, but I turned around there for a second. But there are some fights where black firebombs are of immense importance. So, like I said, even though we've got enough souls to level up at this point, I'm not going to, for the sheer fact that I want to save those, in your case, for the spells down in New Londo that I showed you. Since I went back anyways, I'll go ahead and show you how to maybe deal with this gentleman. If you get a good enough hit on him, he'll go to heal. Oh man, I accidentally used my fourth humanity. Not a big deal. Not a big deal, just kind of always like to keep one off to the side just in case. Humanity increases kind of what, like in other games, your magic item find. That's what it's actually called in this game, is item find, which is how often enemies will drop things of use to you. Now, right now, we don't have any armor, which is something that I would like to rectify before Taurus Demon, but it is not absolutely essential. So that guy throws firebombs that can stun you. We don't want that. We don't like that. So we're going to go ahead and always try and kill him first. Later on, you'll have some equipment that'll keep, hopefully, firebombs from stunning you. Here, right here, is where I die a lot, because you just get stun locked with these firebombs. So that is a skill. Sneaking up and backstabbing, or backstabbing in general, is something that you're going to really want to learn how to do. Did you drop something? He almost always drops something, and he didn't that time. That pisses me off. But what we're actually going to do here is I'm going to kindle this bonfire, and then I'm going to, that rat didn't drop humanity, which sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, that rat from earlier. Kindle this bonfire. Well, I'm going to reverse my hollowing. Now we're a sexy naked lady running around the place. I'm going to kindle this bonfire, which allows us to get 10 Estus flasks from it when we rest here instead of just 5. Now I'm going to use these souls saved up to come over here. That is annoying. The auto lock in this sometimes is just so unbelievably stupid. These guys with their spears and their shields, they can attack without actually coming out of their guard, which makes them super frustrating early on with a sword, since you don't have a weapon that can easily knock them out of their, or stagger them, I guess is the term I should use. Since you don't have a weapon that can stagger them effectively, you wind up spending a lot of time just dodging what they've got. Now down here, you break those boxes, you come down here, make sure to run over here. There's this guy hiding behind this thing. Kill him real fast. Maybe he dropped something. Nope. So since nobody seems to be dropping any equipment,
you seem to...
we're going to try and spend a couple souls. I don't remember how much armor costs here. Really all we want is, because we want to keep ourselves still pretty light, so really all we want to pick up here is the leggings and the gauntlets.
Thank you kindly.
I'm sure Miss Penguin here will appreciate the more modest attire. So that keeps our speed pretty much where it was, but gives us a little bit of poise. Now poise is super important because it keeps you from getting staggered. We still don't have a lot of it, but we have more than what we did, so that's definitely a plus. So now we're going to run back up. Run into the room. Oh, that is the Dark Souls you hear so much about, where you take a wrong step somewhere and you're fucked. So, but that's what we got these Estus flasks for. It's not a big deal. We're fine, it's fine, it's fine. Sometimes that guy takes 2 shots, sometimes he doesn't. Someone finally dropped something back there. It was a long sword. It's fucking worthless to us right now. If you were playing as deprived and you didn't have a weapon, that would have been great, like if you're still using the club. Which isn't all bad, especially with its more generous lunge attack. You jump pretty far. It has a wide damage arc. But just its damage output as time goes on, it doesn't keep up. I managed to use it very creatively for a while, but I eventually just had to give up the ghost there. Now here, these guys, if they drop anything, they will almost always drop fire bombs, which are exactly what they throw at you. I think they have the same damage output and everything as the fireball spell, but I don't know, because like I said, I don't spend a lot of time messing with magic in this game. That's gold pine resin. You can apply it to most weapons, and it'll give you the lightning status effect. It'll deal a pretty decent amount of lightning damage for a little while. You can't use it with this longsword though. So again, it's been a while since I fought Taurus Demon. I don't remember if he's particularly weak to lightning damage or not. You probably are just going to be better off using your sword. Now here's another one of these fuckers. Which, do I have a firebomb equipped here? I don't. If I did, I would have just used that. Now I was able to stagger him there. Poise kind of has a counter that, like, even if they, it's behind the scenes, it's like a bar. You can imagine it like a bar. It's a rolling counter that it regenerates after it takes a hit, but if someone hits it hard enough again, then you will get staggered regardless what your resistance to their attacks are. So if they hit you, like if you have a poise of 80, they hit you with an attack that subtracts 75 from your poise, you need a second for that to regenerate back up to 80, because if they hit you with that 75 again, you're going to be staggered. Now down here is a obstacle that a lot of new players save for later. I'm hoping, I know because I've done it with this very build just not even a half hour ago, that I can beat him on our first try here. I was hoping for the backstab. Didn't work out. So we're going to run. We're going to run for two reasons. One, because it puts us in a better position to fight him. If he followed us. I don't know that he did. There he is. Fuck. It puts us in a better position to fight him. And we don't have to go as far to recover our souls if we die, because we've got a pretty substantial amount here. Now, you're going to want to keep your sword up. Now, I'm sure you've noticed mechanically that if you keep your sword up, or if you keep your shield up, your block up, or whatever you're using to block, it takes a minute for your stamina to regenerate. So what I do is when I take a hit, I retreat far back enough to where I can drop my shield, let my stamina come back, and then see, but he did that shield bash and it knocked it all away, which would have fucked us if he'd hit us again. But now that I've explained that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right on top of him. I'm going to circle around as much as possible. And I'm just going to attack him when he opens himself. Now he's got a shield too. Works the same way yours does. So you just want to get on top of him, circle around him, take your hits when you can get them. Dark Souls is very much a game about patience. Now you can't actually parry this guy's attacks. I'm terrible at parrying in this game, so I never do it. I'm actually going to shut up here and focus on beating him. Kind of missed my timing there on my block. Fuck. Well, that was a zero-sum game. He did kill me, but at the same time, I took more damage there than I would have liked to have. What we're going to do here, because this isn't going as well as it usually does, is we're going to kite him down, pop a couple Estus flasks and kind of cheese it out just a little bit. I was going to attempt to climb up here. Fuck. Well, usually that would have worked. But I missed. It's not easy both commenting on this and doing the fighting. This is definitely a game that if we Let's Played, we would want to do it with a post-commentary track. I never miss those plunging attacks on this guy. If I had landed one successfully, it would have pretty much ended the fight. And there we have it. And he actually dropped a Black Knight's sword, which is the second time on the 360, I never get him to drop that when I'm fighting him. Here, though, he's done it twice for me in a row now. The Black Knight's sword is actually relatively powerful weapon, and it's very good to have early on. It requires, however, a 20 strength and a 14 dexterity in order to wield it. So I'm not sure that it's well suited for your purposes, but if you wanted, like I said, you've got some options here. So if you wanted to diversify or go in a more strength-based route, then you could do so. And if he gets that to drop, which is why I like to kill him as early as possible, because it seems to me like the earlier you kill him, the better chance of him dropping it. And if you get that weapon early on with a strength-focused build, it actually really helps you out a lot. Because it's easy to upgrade early on, which so is the sword that we've picked up here. But the Black Knight sword just blows it away in comparison in stats. I think it starts with a basic attack of 220. So it's significant, especially for the stats and the bonuses that you get with it. So let's go back here, rest at the bonfire, make one more run through here before the Taurus Demon, just so we had enough Estus flasks. Obviously going to try and use those. If you wanted to at this point, I suppose you could go and buy some spells. I'm not going to, because I don't think that they're going to be terribly effective against the Taurus Demon. But that's me. I'm actually going to take the opportunity to level up our strength and our endurance. And we've got one more, so for the sake of your build, I'll go into Faith. Faith is more for healing spells and miracles, but it also gives you a bonus. You get a bonus with this sword that we've got for every point of faith that you have. So, that's neat. And very useful. So we've gone up 4 points of damage, which might not seem like much, but it is, you know, fairly significant over time. So let's drop you. We're going to try and get through here without taking any damage. Play it a little more conservatively, so we don't have to use any Estus flasks. That was close. Yeah. Take that. We got those items from in there. We did take a hit there, son of a bitch. But it's going to be one Estus flask, and if the fight with Taurus Demons comes down to one Estus flask, then I probably fucked it up a lot harder than what's acceptable for a player who's been doing this as long as I have. So we'll pop that Estus flask there. Oh. You kind of just gotta wait for an opening and then just wail on him. It's the only way to get him to open up. Up here, I'm sure you've encountered it, but this flaming barrel fucking sucks. Oh, I forgot to log on. God damn it. Lock on. Whatever. If I had more time and I was feeling a little more groovy, this door, the Master Key can unlock this door, which leads down to an individual called Havel. If you fight him and successfully defeat him, he drops a ring called Havel's Ring, which allows you to equip a lot more stuff and it not affect your speed. It effectively, I think it brings up your equipment load by like 50 points. So, yeah, not too shabby. Up here, we're going to drop these, there are two skeleton archers up here. We're going to drop them because we're going to need to come up here. We're not going to want these guys distracting us. Even if you don't decide to go the plunging attack route. Oh my god, I'm just getting fucking... And here, actually, we got a crossbow and we got a helmet. We'll go ahead and put that helmet on because I don't think it's going to affect our speed at all. Doesn't look like it. Can only help. If you hold B on ladders, you slide down. So there's the tip they don't teach you anywhere, I don't think. So we're 6 Estus flasks. So we're gonna get this guy to spawn. We're gonna fucking book it. Like I said, he may be more susceptible to lightning. I don't remember. But that drops roughly 50% of his health right there, so... He whacks at his legs just to see. Ooh! Not wild about that attack. I like the way this is going. Get in between his legs. Ah, fuck. This is actually one of the reasons that the fight with Taurus Demon is so difficult. If I could have got back up the fucking steps, I would have already ruined his day. but where you can get caught on the wall there, and where the camera can get stuck directly behind you, it makes it a little more difficult. So now that we've seen exactly how to fuck that up as badly as possible, let's actually go back and do it that way. So we run back. This is Dark Souls. A lot of going back and fixing stupid mistakes. If I hadn't tried to prove a point there and cut out his legs just to show how much damage the sword does to him, really out of my own curiosity, because I wanted to know if this was better than fighting him with lightning, and it is. But if I hadn't tried to do that, I could have pretty much immediately gone back up the steps. I don't know. I've never had him attack me going back up the steps, so I don't know that he can do it, or if I've just been lucky in that respect. So, but that's what I would do. I would have gone back up the steps, dropped another time, and ruined his face. So, hopefully that's the way it'll go this time. I got fucked about the camera there, which is one of the few things, not many complaints when you die you can make against Dark Souls, but that is one of them, is that sometimes the camera just puts itself in a very bad place for you. Did I go get that blue tearstone ring? And did I equip it if I did? I did go get it, but I never explained what it was or put it on, goddammit, that would have really helped. Oh! Didn't realize that aggroed you. Gotta pay attention. The blue tearstone ring actually boosts your defense when your HP is low. It does exactly what it says. Effectively, you can take a really hard hit there at the end and you'll still have a little bit of life. Probably would have really helped out where we were just now. And it's the primary reason for me, up until I realized how often the Black Knight sword seems to be dropping these days. I don't know if that's a patch thing or what, or if I've just been lucky, but I usually go to kill the Black Knight this early so that I can get that ring, which early on is a pretty big help, because like I said, it gives you a second chance in a lot of situations where you wouldn't usually have one. Good news is our souls are all right there. Not that we had much, but our humanity is what I really wanted to recover there, because we're at level 5. The Taurus Demon does have a unique weapon that it drops, I think, here. But it has a chance to drop, I should say. I'm getting antsy because this video is running long and it's causing me to make stupid mistakes. Gotta return that phone call eventually too. Which I don't know why anyone ever calls me. They could text me and get so much more information out of me. So here we are, exactly where we were the last time. 6 Estus Flasks. Run. Climb. You can attack you on just starting your opponent, select it. Decides to jump up here all of a sudden. Kind of missed it there. Like I said, you don't have to fight it this way, but it makes it pretty easy. when I was doing my club run, and he did not drop his special weapon there, but when I was doing my club run, I think he takes a little extra damage to blunt weapons, so it was easier. Plus I went ahead and I had beaten Havel at that point, so I had a little more poise than what we've got here, because I was wearing a little more in the way of equipment. But that's Taurus Demon. I'll show you the next little bit here, and then I'm going to end what we've got, and hopefully this is fucking recorded. Here's Solera of Astoria. He's the best character in the game, but he helps out more with PvP kind of stuff.
Well, no,
He's a jolly fellow. He drops or he doesn't drop, he gives you, he does drop if you kill him, but I wouldn't recommend that. But he gives you the item that you can use to write. Oh, and that pretty much always happens. I was hoping to block it with the shield, but it wasn't to be. But anyways, you go across that bridge there, and that's how you get into the next area that is typically recommended that new players take. So, in fact, it's really the only direction you can go. You can go back down to New Londo if you want. I think this weapon is able to damage the ghosts there, but I don't actually remember. So, there we go. There you have it. The early game walkthrough for Dark Souls. I hope it helps you out, buddy. Like I said, one of my all-time favorite games. I've been playing it pretty consistently for the last year, over a year now actually, and it just never seems to get old for me. So just wanted to pass it along to you and to give you some tips that I wish that I had had when I had started playing. It would have made things much easier. And always quit your game out like this, because otherwise you might lose your save.